All right, welcome to Average Joe's podcast. If you're just joining us, which you would be, I hope anybody's watching. I have 0 viewers. Anyway,
I'll watch when it's on YouTube.
So this is Average Joe's podcast. I'm joined today by 2 other people, and then maybe somebody else will show up. So go ahead and introduce yourselves to start off with.
All right, I'm Wes Peters, formerly of CMU, Fire Up Chips, and currently of Michigan State. Go Green.
And where you
Kenny
at?
Mize. No, go ahead, Wes.
What? No, go. I'm done.
Oh, I'm Kenny Mize, one of the captains of Saginaw Valley. Currently at the golf course.
All right, and then I'm Zygmus Maloney, of course. I am in Chicago. It's really nice outside, but I'm inside. So this.
And I'm here too.
Oh, somebody else is here. Go ahead.
And I'm Felix Peroni, president of the NCDA and current coach for Ohio State, former alumni of Western Kentucky University. My internet's kind of cutting in and out, so I may hop off in a second.
All right, so in this tiny little series, we're going to talk about rules and just general policy that is going into the 2017 season, so 2016. So it'll be a couple of videos, and the first thing we wanted to start off with, we never really did this before, was to invite anybody who proposed a rule into these tiny little in-person conversations and then have a discussion about it and hopefully give teams and whoever votes the knowledge to change the league or keep it the same as it will. So this is actually 2 rules. We have one proposed by Dylan and then a very similar one proposed by Wes. Wes, can you go through the rule for us just to get us on the right foot?
Sure. So Dylan's rule proposal is that a thrown ball is live no matter what it hits until it hits the ground. So if you hit 6 or 15 people with one throw, they're all out. And my version of the rule is slightly more complicated, it would seem, but I think it would be a lot more user-friendly for the league, in which case a thrown ball is live until it hits the ground, but only the first person that it hits, only the initial target of the throw can get out by the hit.
Yeah, the blocking player, essentially.
Right.
The initial blocking player.
Right, but it can still be team caught, and yeah, but only the first guy that it hits can get out.
Okay. Yeah, so 2 simple rules. I mean, you'll see this in other leagues called dirty blocking versus clean blocking. Currently, the NCDA uses dirty blocking is okay. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but we use if you block the ball with your ball, then the ball is dead by contact of that blocking ball, so it can't hurt you.
Yep.
So what we're proposing now is to basically the ball is live off the blocking ball until it becomes dead in another way. So it's a little bit more. It's different. Who really plays this way?
It makes blocking a skill, essentially.
Yeah. Who plays this way currently? That's one of the big.
Clean blocking, it's played largely by pretty much everyone, but the biggest league that I know of is Elite Dodgeball.
Yeah, as far as that's the biggest one.
The UDC uses it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the trampoline, they do it, which is a little more hectic too, because people are usually not really bouncing around a lot, because you don't really bounce around in that league, but you're pretty active. I think it's a little bit more intense.
Yeah, I mean, you're not bouncing around a bounce, you're bouncing to dodge a throw. So.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the NCDA goes, based on the history of the rule, I like to put this for any rule that we come up with. The history of how we do blocking is like it was just any contact with the ball ended up being dead. And I think that's a history with the old DePaul rules and then also the old Aberdeen rules.
Which I like very much.
Yeah, so why don't we launch into the pros of keeping it the way it is first? So
Go
whoever
ahead,
wants
Kenny.
to share. Kenny?
What's up?
What's the pros of keeping the rule as defined and keeping it the same?
Well, I like it because, it's very clearly, like, if you hit a ball with your ball, for at least Dylan's rule, and I'll go into Wes's rule as well. With Dylan's, I mean, no one should be able to hit a ball and then hit your teammate, and then the teammate is out. I mean, once a ball-on-ball contact is out, once ball-on-ball contact, the ball is dead. And then with Wes's rule, it's slightly better, but at the same time, I like personally, and most of the people, it doesn't have any more effect. Like, in my rule is going to do it make count a lot harder.
Whoops.
Yeah, Kenny's on the golf course, so
That's what happens when you try and golf and do this at the same time.
yeah, he knew when it was gonna be. He says he only has one left.
Classic Saginaw move.
All
I'll go there.
right. Well, no, it's the weird thing about I was the one person who thought that it was hard to ref. At least clean blocking was harder to ref because I had a logical assumption, but I think everyone else is in total agreement that it's easier to ref. What do you think?
I think
Wes?
it's insanely easy to block or to ref compared to dirty blocking because you don't have to listen for like what hit first, ball or skin, or ball or ground, or skin or ground. You just clear as day. You hear one before it hits the ground, and you know you made contact with the player. So
And as far as reffing goes, for that's why I like your rule a little bit better. That it's not a pinball rule. It's not like Dylan where you hit somebody out. They block and you block into your own teammate. Because I think that's a little bit unfair.
right. So like if you block it cleanly into your teammate under my rule, nothing happens. But if they catch it, it's still a team catch. So you can pinball a team catch, but you still only get one person in and nobody out for it. Just like it is now.
Yeah, I like that a little bit better. There's some things I like about it. As I talked to a lot of DePaul people, and they all hate it because it's weird because that's why we had trying to have a discussion. Why do you hate it, and why do you think it should be? It's just the way
Because it's different.
Yeah, because it's different. So.
Yep.
Is the trap rule still a thing with your rule, Wes, or no?
What is it?
No.
Trap rule?
No. Traps or catches.
Unless it was like catch ground.
All right.
In my mind, if we go to clean blocking only, then trap rule is void. If you catch the ball against the ground, then you're out. You have to make a clean catch. If you catch a ball against another ball that you're holding, then it's a clean catch.
Yeah, I think that would certainly make it easier to referee, but I think it would discourage people to go for diving catches a little bit.
Then just be better. That's my thing. I'm tired of pandering to people wanting to get participation medals. If we want this league to grow, then just be better. Don't get hit by the ball at all. That's my thing. But
I slightly disagree with you there, but
that's okay.
It's a small point.
Right. With the blocking how it is, it kind of like allows for, with the countering aspect of the game, how it is right now, specifically with Saginaw and, some other schools, like you're running off the baseline right away. So, like, if you throw at the person, your forward momentum's obviously going to carry you into a ball, even if you block it. It eliminates some aspects of the current game we play right now. But it also, like Wes says, does speed it up.
I think it'll speed it up. It'll create a little bit more action, and the games will turn over a little bit better. And also, I think it's a little bit better to bring onboard new people into the league, as in new players.
Good term.
On
board.
Yeah, on board. Yeah. So it's.
Right.
I'm an older guy, so like whenever I play Elite, I block it into myself and I'm out, and I feel stupid because I did that. Or I step out of the line and I feel stupid because I did that. And as far as if I block into myself, I start learning it, but it's still really hard to do it. I think if you just naturally say, keep your, just keep yourself and don't get hit by the ball, and if you're going to block it cleanly, block it to the ground and not block into something else or something like that.
With Dylan's rule, yeah, but if you block it sideways still onto a teammate, it's still not doing anything.
So the one thing I think about, which I tried to teach way back in the day, was to pop up a catch to somebody else. If it's going really fast to you, and so if you say you can't catch it, you block it up into your teammate, and your teammate makes a team catch in order to at least save the ball in the throw.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people would end up getting a lot more catches now? Would they take advantage of being able to deflect it up into the air and then catch it themselves for a direct catch?
I mean, that's it's gonna happen in the sense that that play is gonna happen, but I don't think you can really people throwing the ball 60+ miles an hour. I don't think you can plan to specifically block the ball up and make a cheap catch like that. That's just poor plan.
If you practice it enough, you could definitely.
I guess, but what's the point? I'd rather just drop my ball and catch it with two hands at that point if I know what I'm going to try and do automatically.
But if you block it up in the air like that and you don't catch it, then you're not out because it didn't hit you. But if you're going to drop and catch it and miss the catch, because
well, if you block it clean, yeah. But
right.
if you block it into yourself and it pops up, which I feel like is a lot more likely to happen if you're trying to do that than managing to block it cleanly straight up in the air.
Well, let me put it this way. Do you think the skill in order to do that consistently is balanced in terms of it won't happen a lot? It's not unfair if it happens.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue because if you try to do that anyway, as long as the other team doesn't have 0 balls in their possession left at that point after the throw, you're setting yourself wide open to be creamed.
Yeah. I don't know, just putting stuff out there.
No, I get it.
Throwing potential how it could be abused in any way.
Yeah. No, I just think the rule speeds the game up. It makes blocking an actual skill. I don't think it takes countering out of the game like Kenny thinks, because you're gonna have to be better at blocking than you are now. Doing it now, a blind person can block a ball essentially.
Yeah, as long as you get that one nick, and then you could get it nicked.
But why do you always know?
Sorry, it eliminates the whole argument of oh no, it hit ball when it clear as day probably didn't.
Anything that can lower the level of arguments during Final Four games is the best thing ever.
I agree.
All right.
We just need to reduce the ambiguity, and whether that's going with this new rule or not, we need to figure out something. I personally am more in favor towards Dylan's rule, just because we know when the ball is dead. The ball is dead when it hits the ground. Let's say that I'm standing slightly to the right of Wes, and he's holding a ball, and he lunges for it and blocks the ball, and then it hits me. I was the intended target, but Wes tried to sacrifice himself by blocking for me. Would I be out?
So what you're saying, you were the intended target of a throw coming at you, but I Secret Service myself and take the hit?
But you have the ball, and so you block it, you nick it, and then it hits me.
So it's a clean block. It's not the intended target, it's who the ball made contact with first. So if I block it, if I dive in front of you, even though you were the intended target, and I block it into myself, and then it hits whatever else, I'm the only one that can get out.
Okay, but if the ball nicks the ball that you're holding and
Right.
hits me, even though I was the intended target,
Right. No one's
then
out.
I would be
Up for a
okay.
team catch.
Okay.
But no one's out.
No, it's all about the blocker. So whoever makes the block, because
Okay.
in order to you can't ever. It's really hard to ref that intended target thing,
Yeah.
especially with more people than more than one ball that we have. So it's all about who if the blocker makes contact with the ball. Well, if a player makes contact with the ball, then they become a blocker, and then a set of things happens. So right now, currently, if you come in contact with a ball and you have it, then that ball is dead and you become an ordinary player again. So
Right.
like that's why I
Okay.
like Wes because it's less intense. It's not you don't have
Not
to worry
such a
about it.
drastic change either.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it would work. Dylan's pinball would work very well at a collegiate level.
No.
I'm sure it works.
Go ahead. I'm
It
sorry.
works well at Kent. In Kent, it's fun at Kent, but it like sucks when you get hit in behind because somebody blocked it into you and
Yeah.
you didn't know it was coming at you. So it's just a little bit more.
Something
Is
I
it
think
fair?
that it
Fair
would
to
also take away by using Dylan's rule in our league, like so pinball effect, is blocking in corners. So like teams like Saginaw and whatever like to do stack like 6 people in a corner and have 1 or 2 people block for them.
We used to call
That
it
would
MS.
cause chaos. Like you could potentially like get 6 people out on the pinball rule because they're all stacked together like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
think it'd be really
that
fair.
is where it would eliminate an aspect of our current game that I wouldn't like.
That's
So with
true.
my rule, that wouldn't happen.
How many people? I mean, is Dylan's rule in like the rule proposal in Elite Dodgeball right now?
That's what it is in Elite.
Uh,
Yeah, until it's the ground.
how many people
ball's
are
not
in Elite exactly on a court at a
6 on
time?
6.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I mean, you got the whole court. I mean, I know the courts are smaller in Elite and the pro line is closer, but like you have 15 on 15 starting off. Like potentially, like you could throw the ball at white. You get ball advantage right away, and you could eliminate 12 people if you get 6 balls. You hit each target twice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the game would be over. I mean, that would make no fun. I mean, not fun. It would make no interest to watch. I would not. I mean, the game is slightly slow right now, but you don't want it that fast where you're just like, all right, snap your fingers and you get all your people out.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be entertaining to the player, for the player to come back and want to come back to a tournament and play again. Because a lot of the rules with new DePaul people, DePaul has a pretty big turnover rate over many years for many reasons, but a lot of it tends to be you go to a tournament and you get belted at, and then like you're up 4-0 and you don't have any chance to have that many games to turn back and come back because there's the average game time is so long. So and it tends not to be fun at that point. So like it needs to be enjoyable in some way and not just a stall game, which is why so many people have brought up rules to make the game faster.
Yep. I agree. Because I've never seen a team come back from more than 2 points down.
Yeah.
Like if you go up 3-0 in a game, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And the little tiny records that we have, the point duration statistics and who scored win, yeah, that's totally true. That's fact validated in our current rule set. So it's difficult.
With you guys bringing up the bunching, that does make a lot of sense, and I would say it would be easier to officiate with Wes's proposal then, just because it would be incredibly difficult to figure out who exactly got hit in those cases where people are bunched up in the corners. So I do switch
I
my
think it'd be fair. It's fair. So like, if in that case you'll just like, okay, there's definitely 4 people that got hit. You're just gonna call out 4 people if they don't go out or if they start fighting it, which is a concern, which happens occasionally now. I mean, if a ball, goes near a player and they say they blocked it and it hit somebody, then they'll fight it or something like that. And then as an official, you need to make the call or see it or do something.
So Yeah. Let me ask you this. So with Wes's rule, if Wes blocks the ball for me, it hits me and then hits him and then hits the ground, would Wes be out? Or would the second player kill the ball?
No, the second player kills the ball. It would still be up for a team catch. Like if it
Okay.
hits, if I block it clean, it hits you and hits me, I could still team catch it, but I couldn't catch it, and I can't get out at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same principle as team catch.
Okay.
Yep.
Whereas it's just one player out, one player in on that one call. So what else? How can this be abused?
I don't know. I was hoping you came up with a bunch of questions for me.
No, I was thinking about it, and as going through it, like I like it a lot more than I thought it would when it was first proposed like 2 years ago or something like that. And then this recent iteration, I like this one really good. Like it's just a single blocker doing stuff, and then it affects that. I think it's simpler.
It gets rid of the trap ambiguity.
Yeah.
The trap is more important to me because I think if it's going to be a catch, if you catch it, I don't know. The dirty blocking or the dirty catch and the clean catch was a weird thing for me to put in the rule book because I didn't back it as much as everyone else did because everyone fought about it 4 or 5 years ago. It was like such a weird thing to fight about when I think a catch looks like a catch, and
Yeah, I mean, if you catch the ball, you should get a catch,
yeah, and
no matter how
I think the player turnover rate is a little bit better, and it's still not like being unfair to the player, is in my opinion. And anybody can kind of call that. I think it's a trap catch, getting rid of that, and just having like a catch is a catch if it looks like a catch, and then if your teammate did it, then it's a team catch. I think it makes a little bit more sense and to new people coming in. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes it easier, but I mean, you got to train. It's like we have returning players this year because I mean, a lot of us graduated and stuff, and I mean, we got to teach all those new players we're getting a clean block. I mean, we got to teach veterans how to clean block if this rule gets approved. Like, I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge for a lot more people. People think, I mean, what Wes says, I mean, you got to be a better blocker. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, we try to get our new players to learn how to throw, how to catch. Now we're going to spend 4, 5, 6 practices on just blocking. I would rather have a rookie know how to block now if this rule gets approved and throw and catch.
And it's a good way to get new players to transition into the game also, because it's easier in our league to block than anything else, and to learn, because there's a huge learning curve with the throw and with catching as well. So if you stick a freshman in there and say your only job is to not get hit and make sure that the ball doesn't hit me, then I feel like that would be the easy way to transition into the game.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point on training. Like as far as I know, there's a lot of training heavy schools here, but I probably represent the one team that doesn't do any practices like that. And then my entire tenure as coach for like 2 or 3 years, I had one practice where people actually wanted to learn how to catch a ball or throw or do actual mechanic stuff. And as far as the small teams that I talk to over the season, they don't do that kind of practice stuff. So it's interesting to hear that from you guys. That you would go in and spend a day doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the way we do it right now, our practices, we usually we come in at 10 o'clock. We usually warm up for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then we go into a drill for 20 minutes, usually 30 minutes. But, I mean, there's been some practices I know, not recently, like last year we didn't do much because our numbers were people, so never wanted to come and do like a drill. But, I mean, we could spend an hour on a drill just trying to block a trash can from a throw, block someone, you know,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Okay. I've heard a lot of good things, a lot of good discussion. What do you guys think?
That's good. I like these podcast ideas. I think it's good just to get some sort of conversation happening. I wish more people were participating other than the four of us, but
Hey, get what you can get.
What do you guys think about the opening rush and how it would change with the new rules?
Not very much, in my opinion.
Would you say it would be more aggressive though? Because I mean, obviously, I mean, most people don't throw now because they're afraid it's just going to be a block. Now,
Yeah.
Depends on who you're watching, who you're playing.
right?
So are we talking about like two Michigan teams?
No other team is as conservative on the opening rush than Michigan is.
Right.
Way you guys rush and try to control the ball. Other teams will go up and one or two players off that first baseline on your first attack line will end up throwing the ball, and there'll be an exchange depending on who else is on the other team, and there'll be a 2 or 3 ball exchange, which terrifies me, and I'm sure it terrifies Felix too because we're old and we never did that when it was like live off the rush. But a lot of the younger teams that won't stress that ball control in the early period will just launch out balls. So in terms of blocking it'll be,
You'll get more reward for the risk, I think, under this rule on the rush.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's going to get more aggressive. Like, I mean, I could see Michigan teams stop playing conservative even because, I mean, we throw the ball, it hits your ball. All right, well, it hits you or it hits another person or you're out or that person's out. You know, either rule. Like, I'm just addressing both.
Yeah. From our aspect, I think teams are still definitely going to stress ball control, but I don't think teams will be afraid to take a shot more often that they'd be a lot more hesitant to take if someone had a ball, like if they were even 10 feet away. If it was like someone who was like Kevin Bailey, like you'd be a lot less hesitant to take that shot.
And that's what we need.
Exactly.
yeah. A lot of times I'll see this play where a player has a ball and then an opposing thrower makes a throw at the player to reset the shot clock because that player has a ball and he's most likely to block it. And it's easy to, throw it kind of hard, but in their general lower region, like lower abdomen, not the breadbasket, but like a little bit lower or something like that, in order to reset the shot clock and make it look legitimate. But it usually ends up being like looking 45, 50 miles an hour. So like you could drop and catch it if you were paying attention. But I see that all the time. Do you guys think that would do
No,
anything?
I think people will be more willing to make a better attempt at a throw to kill in that situation under this rule. Just on the off chance that they might get rewarded with a bad block.
They agreed. I think the basis behind this is it creates more chances for the player to get out, and player turnover, and it's not unfair. Like it's not hard to learn how to block down. It's just you take a couple hours practice time to actually, or playing time to figure it out. Even as old as I am, so like I could figure it out playing Elite. I'll still hate myself sometimes when I do it, but still, I don't know. I think it's learnable. I think it's fair to the player. That's why I like it a lot better than I have. And I've changed my opinion definitely.
We could forget all about this blocking stuff if everyone just would learn how to catch.
we can go to old NDL rules and no blocking at all.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's Kansas State. Kansas State had no blocking.
Yeah.
DePaul sometimes plays that when they're trying to like be doing drill, but kind of still allow people to play. They'll do no blocking, and it's like people will they'll float a ball across, and then it'll be like a 30-mile-an-hour throw, and then they'll block it, and then they'll just drop the ball and go, oh my god, why did I block that? I don't know.
All right.
I think we're winding down. Do you guys have any closing comments? This has been a really good discussion. I liked it.
I mean,
Any
I
other questions,
definitely.
Kenny?
No, I mean, I definitely like just kind of wanted to come in and kind of argue against it because I saw no one was, because I mean, I'm against Dylan's rule more than Wes's rule. I don't really want Dylan's rule to be, but at the same time, I mean, Wes has definitely opened my eyes to the other things that are the possibilities. But
I mean, is there any compromise we could do to bring you on board for this Wes's rule?
I'll give you $20 to vote for it.
I mean, there's not much. I'm not kind of like I'm indifferent. Like, I mean, I know some of our captains of the Saginaw kind of are iffy on it, and I'm kind of the same way. I know we were all against Dylan's, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you should definitely speed up the game. But some of the other rule proposals that we're having, like, we're not really supposed to talk about them, but are definitely going to speed up more. And I'm worried that like we're adding too much too quick, if that makes any sense. Like, you're taking the throw distance away, you're taking, this away, you're taking that. I mean, which is all fine. I mean, I'm all for league growth and I want to see us grow, but I'm worried it's like too fast, too quick. You know what I mean?
If anything, out of all the rules that are in here, I think I like this one to be applied the most because it brings us a little bit more in terms with other leagues, and I think it's a better mechanic now. Granted, I've definitely changed my I've said this before, but I've changed my mind about it. We shouldn't be different as a league because we're just a separate entity, and we can be. I think we should do what's best for the player and what's best for the game and the enjoyment of the player, and then keep in mind, like, if it's watchable or if it's nice and fun. But I think at a core, we should have the individual approach that we have, and work it through there.
Yeah,
I would just love to be able to officiate a game. A ball hits somebody's ball and then their knee, and they look at me and like, I'm not out, and then I get to smile at them and say, yes, you are.
You guys are so sick.
That's what 9 years in this league does.
Cynical Felix, best Felix.
Memed.
But no, going back to what Zig was saying, though, I think the core argument of a lot of people who are like against this, I'm not saying this is you, Kenny, but like keeping it the same for the sake of it being that's the way we've always done it, and because our league is the best league, I think is a terrible mindset, and that's what is. And I think that is one of the root causes for why I feel like the growth of and progression of our league as being exciting has stagnated for so long.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely scared. I mean, I'm not scared, but like, I'm like worried. I mean, I don't want to change what I've. It's kind of like we've always done something for 4 years, 5 years, whatever. I mean, 17 for you, Wes, but
7. Thank you very much.
Whatever. But you've always done something for that long, and then you just all of a sudden have to change it. Like, I mean, I'm definitely like, I mean, I've done it. So the first, like, I know at least for the first like 3 months, like in tournaments, I'm gonna do it, and I'm just gonna look at the ref, and I'm like, I'm just dumb. Why did I do this? But I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, I want to see this league grow. I mean, with the expansions, with the teams, I'm happy. I'm tired. I mean, I am from Michigan. I am tired of there being really zero competition from out-of-state teams. I mean, there's like JMU, Ohio State, Towson's getting there, but like, I want like a perennial powerhouse. I mean, Ohio State upset us this year. I mean, but without these new rules, I mean, there is new rules that need to be in play because, I mean, it helps other teams. It hurts Michigan teams sometimes, Like, I want to see teams be able to level the playing field. Like, we're all good at blocking. Some teams may not be. They learn how to clean block. We don't. We lose.
I think it's a little bit. A lot of teams just won't spend the time training to be that caliber of like super high tactical, not high tactical, but like super controlled. A lot of teams are more just out there to play, and I think this is, if we make it fair to the individual, I think it'll be a little bit better for the league as a whole.
Yeah, one thing I do not want to. The NDL is a good example. They were actually pretty strong and prominent for about 3 years, and then they've died out. And it's because they never updated their rules. They never updated the players that they had. They didn't do any type of outreach, anything like that. They just, and when I asked them about their rules, because some of them just didn't make sense to me, like balls are live off the ref. If you hit the ref and then the ball hits you, you're out. And I was like, why is this a thing? And their answer is, it's because it's always been. And they didn't adjust for any type of change. And I don't want us to do the same thing.
I think being a college-oriented league, we have a good advantage of being a logical, mindset. College, give it a little college try. I hate that phrase, but still, we're a logical organization. So I could go through the rule book and give you a bunch of reasons, at least a historical reason why it's there, and plus a logical reason why it's okay, or at least not in there because it was passed in a league vote. I think anything that gets passed in the league is going to be thoughtful and at least guaranteed to be acceptable by a majority of the people, and it's okay. It's not going to be an outlandish rule like being off the ref or something,
right.
Or 2 catches brings in 1 person, or 1 catch brings in 2 people. I was trying to make fun of you, Wes. Didn't work.
What?
The 1 catch brings in 2 people.
Oh,
2 for the show.
Hey, you guys didn't like that one. That's cool.
I liked it. Nobody else liked it. I don't know. It's similar. I think all our rules are pretty logical right now, and we're still a young league, so I think we can go farther. All right. So that was good. I think I'm gonna close you guys off.
Can I make it like a closing statement kind of for it?
Go ahead.
Thanks. So to bring it all together really quick, like a quick summary of it, I think we should go with this rule change because I could list a million reasons, but it speeds the game up, it'll lead to more points being scored, it'll allow teams to come back from a deficit of 3-0 or more potentially. We don't know for sure, but the potential's there in my opinion with this. It eliminates God players like Kevin Bailey, who you could never get out if he had a ball in his hand, which he always did if Grand Valley had 1 ball on their side. So, yeah, that's gone.
You called him a God player? Ugh.
Like the term God. I'm not calling him a god. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Fucker. But, and it'll also shrink the competition gap, like Kenny was saying, between teams, because it'll bring teams closer together. You won't have players like Kevin Bailey that'll never get out if they have a ball in their hand, etc. And it'll allow for teams to be more competitive games in that sense. And I think this.
And it brings a whole. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
and I think this is the rule that we need that accomplishes all that, rather than shrinking the throw line, narrowing the LAZ, and whatever the other rules are proposed to be. I think this one is the best that our league most desperately needs to change.
Yeah. I also like the fact that it brings in a new skill set, because you will have to get good at specifically blocking.
Yeah, it makes it a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Any other arguments for or against?
Sorry, and it's not so drastic of a change like Dylan's proposal that it changes our game and it flips it up on its head. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah. Any arguments for or against closing arguments?
If you vote for this rule, vote for Wes's rule. Don't vote for Dylan's or vote against it. That's my argument.
Vote for me, 2016.
Hashtag NCAA memes.
All right, so we're going to sign off. Thank you guys for coming out and being part of this, taking the half hour or so.
Yeah, this is a fun.
We'll have another one in a couple of days. I think somebody else wanted to be. It's on my list, but we'll try to get a lot of these rules put together. So for Average Joe's podcast, I'm Zygmus Maloney in Chicago. Why don't you guys close off?
I'm Wes Peters, formerly CMU, currently Michigan State.
I'm Kenny Mize, Saginaw Valley.
I'm Felix Peroni in Columbus, Ohio.
And this has been Average Joe's podcast. Thank you all for listening.